Hi guys and welcome back to Scribe Gaming. I'm your man Scribe and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. So it turns out I was a little bit off base when it came to evaluating Vader's rework. He's a badass and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about it. Let's get into it. Okay, so as you can see in the background we have someone perhaps on the opposite end of the badassery table, none other than glorious Rose Tico. Now, as you can see, my Rose Tico is currently gear 11, and she happens to be the last person I need to get up to relic levels for me to start working on earning the tickets for Galactic Legend Rey. Now, this rework for Vader has obviously thrown a bit of a spanner in the works for me. Now, I'm a completely free-to-play player. It takes a long time for me to gear up 12 relic characters and get a ship ready, and you know, take all those characters to various relic levels. That's a big investment. 12 of them, in fact. And a lot of them are substandard characters that no one in their right mind would otherwise gear. So when you see things like a rework for Vader that can absolutely destroy Galactic Legends, it really puts me in two minds. Now, for the first part, we can see that this wonderful character, Darth Vader, is now incredibly awesome. He's more reminiscent of what we've seen in the films. He's a terrifying presence and he's just obliterating enemies in his path, and it is really cool to see. But it's one of those things of, where do you draw the line between lore and game mechanics? You know, now from a lore perspective, yeah, Vader should be doing these sorts of things, should be destroying fools left, right, and center. You know, he should be. He was considered to be the greatest Sith Lord. And Jedi Knight Luke, as well, consequently considered to be the strongest light side character from canon lore. At least if we, well, even if we do include expanded universe or legends, he is still considered to be completely at the top echelon of power. You'd expect these characters to be the equivalent of, in this game, to be the equivalent of a galactic legend. They should be the pinnacle of power. Now, there's no arguing that. However, there has to be a sort of balance, I feel, between you get back what you put into the game. So for me to have invested a lot of gear and time gearing things I really didn't want to gear and struggling in GACs because of it, to have, I wouldn't say it's completely nullified my investment in getting Galactic Legend Rey, because I feel like Vader is only useful at countering certain types of Galactic Legend Rey teams, and I feel like as long as I don't put those teams on defense, then I'll be fine. But I feel like from a gameplay perspective, it shouldn't happen. You shouldn't have what is essentially a free character that is given to everybody through the natural progression of the game, is given through achievements within the game, and you can get them from the Fleet Store, I think. But everybody within the first 3 to 6 months will have a 7-star Vader. It's an easy investment. He now has 3 Zetas as a character that doesn't really have any sort of heavy requirement to unlock. Nobody else really fits that mold in the entire game. I feel like if CG wanted to, they could have turned this guy into Galactic Legend Vader, turned Jedi Knight Luke into Galactic Legend Luke, and nobody would have complained. You know, provided there was the same sort of investment into these characters as there was for other top tier teams. As it stands, Jedi Knight Luke, who is comparable in power, I'd say. Probably has a little bit more wider use, I think, than Vader. I don't really have as much of a problem with Jedi Knight Luke being part of a key team that can defeat Galactic Legend Kylo, Galactic Legend Rey. I don't really have a problem with that, because at the end of the day, you're still relicking up 8, I think, characters for Jedi Knight Luke. But Vader is a different story. And as much as I want him to be badass, the badass that he is right now, I feel like it's undeserved from an investment perspective. Now, I don't want to get on the bad side of other free-to-play characters like myself, and say, look, we don't, the free-to-play community doesn't deserve a bone, doesn't deserve to be given something that they can use against the current meta. I'm not that guy at all. I certainly want there to be viability, but it's got to be something that's hard earned. It can't be something that's just given to you on a platter. The counter teams that we've seen, you've seen, I think it's just Ian, you've seen Black Mamba, you've seen Arnold. They've all put out videos of these Relic Vaders in use, taking out teams, and the compositions. I think it's Vader Lead, Watt, who's now pretty widely available. Thrawn being the only legendary character and possibly still the greatest plug and play toon, apart from maybe Watt actually. Then you've got IPD. I mean, sure, he's less used now, but even he is not used in every composition. And then you usually have some form of a pre-taunt, maybe Shore Trooper or something else. Something else that might fit the mold as well. Sometimes Emperor Palpatine is in there, you know. So it's like the teams that you have to build for this new version of Darth Vader to work against not Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, Galactic Legend Rey is an incredibly easy thing to achieve. It's not locked behind massive gear investments of substandard characters. Every character in that composition is worth gearing up, and it's not particularly difficult. You only have to gear up that 5-man team as stock composition, and you're good to go. As opposed to something like Galactic Legend Kylo, Galactic Legend Rey, where you need to relic up 12 characters and get a ship to 5 stars. The ship is kind of no real consequence. And then oftentimes the ideal composition doesn't involve the characters that you're gearing him up for, and you're left with a roster of substandard characters that are basically doing nothing. Like, where are people going to use Rose? Where are people going to use First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter pilot? You know, with this sort of composition, it's easy, and I think there should be a line. Now, I'm just wondering, what does the rest of the community think? Am I out here on my own thinking that this is perhaps a step too far? I personally think it is, and that's probably me being biased based on the fact that I'm close to unlocking GL Rey. And I know I'll be fine. I still managed to climb without any Galactic Legends. I still hit the top of the arenas using other counters. But all those other counters have always involved multiple legendary characters. And usually lots of relic characters. So I feel like this, I don't think, is going to hang around. Now, I don't know what CG's response is going to be. I feel like they're going to do something. Whether it be they implement something along the lines of a buff to Rey, which I'm more inclined to believe they'll do over a nerf to Vader. I don't feel like they would nerf Vader right after reworking him. What they might do, perhaps in his Merciless Massacre, they won't give him such a massive boost to offense and crit damage. Maybe instead of 50% offense, it'll be 10% offense and 10% crit damage, to really sort of tweak down how much damage he can do. Or maybe during Merciless Assault, he can only use his basic attack. I don't know. Maybe if they do decide to buff Rey teams, maybe they'll make her immune to dots or something. Or maybe they'll change her savior mechanic to not be drop below half health. It'll be more similar to Jedi Knight Revan's savior ability, where it'll stop at one hit point and then bounce back up, so that you can't get around one-shotting these characters. But I don't want to drag on too long for this. I just wanted to get the community's opinion. Please let me know in the messages down below. Am I being off base here? Is it wrong for me to assume that this is too much? I don't know. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I've been Scribe, and you've been a great audience. Catch you in the next video, boys. Bye.